Things that go by the same name can actually be quite different. Take joint health supplements. Cosamin is the only glucosamine chondroitin sulfate brand proven effective in published clinical studies. And now, Cosamin is available in a more potent formula, Cosamin ASU. Cosamin. Anything less just isn't the best. For more information and special offers, visit helpyourjoints.com.
Hi, welcome back. First of all, thank you to everyone for sending in your life story ideas. We're getting some great topics. This week, an uplifting story from the Kramm family. Imagine all the wonderful things that go through the minds of new parents. Will my child be a Boy Scout, Girl Scout? Where will they go to college? Well, as you'll see on this week's Your Life story, it's a story of love and raising a child with a disability and never allowing disability to hold you back.
When you originally get a diagnosis of a child having a disability, you realize that your child's life is going to be something totally different that you weren't prepared for.
13-year-old Hadley is the second of Kenny and Shelley Kramm's two daughters. Like older sister Sarah, Hadley was born a few weeks premature and tiny at birth. Hadley's respiration and vital signs were good, but at 4 pounds 3 ounces, doctors decided to keep her in the hospital until she gained weight. Expectations for their new daughter changed suddenly on Hadley's 10th day of life when the Kramms got a late-night phone call from the neonatal team.
They said they didn't know what was the matter with her. They said that she was exhibiting seizure-like activity, but they weren't seizures. And you could plainly look at Hadley and see she was having seizures. Her eyes were rolled back in her head, and her limbs were flailing.
Unfortunately, Hadley continued to seize for 2 days and suffered a bilateral brain hemorrhage. She was ultimately diagnosed with cerebral palsy, a serious condition brought on by a lack of oxygen that causes damage to the brain, impairing motor and cognitive skills.
It wasn't until about she was 10 months old that we realized she wasn't passing any of her milestones. She wasn't rolling over, she wasn't speaking at all, or I was very much in denial. It was very difficult to put her into a wheelchair for the first time, because when you do that, when you put your child into a wheelchair, you're admitting to yourself that most likely my child's not going to ever walk.
In spite of Hadley's medical problems, the Kramms wanted life to be as normal as possible for their daughters. Like other moms, Shelley took her girls to a neighborhood playground, but found that navigating the terrain with a wheelchair was nearly impossible. While the mulch on the ground served as a safety feature for most children, it kept kids like Hadley in their wheelchairs out.
Sarah would be running around. We would get someplace, and then I'd actually have to physically take Hadley out of her wheelchair to get her up onto the equipment, and then there wasn't really anything for Hadley to do up there. So I went home and I decided that there needed to be a place for all kids to play together. We built the organization. The organization's called Hadley's Park, and Hadley's Park is an organization whose mission is to build fully inclusive playgrounds for children with and without disabilities to play together, so that it kind of would tear down the barriers of stigmas against kids with disabilities.
Shelley had no experience running an organization or fundraising, but her personal experience gave her the inspiration to lobby hard and successfully persuade government officials, corporations, and individuals to rally behind her inclusive parks.
I wholeheartedly jumped in with both feet and never thought twice that this wasn't going to happen. In 5 years, we built this first project. Then after that, we kind of decided that we would like to use that as a model to build other playgrounds around the state of Maryland. After doing that, we used those models to help other people across the country build playgrounds like Hadley's Parks. And today there are like 350 of them around the country.
A serious medical condition like Hadley's cerebral palsy can stress the dynamics of a family, but the Kramms have taken it upon themselves to pull together and make a positive impact on others.
We did it out of the love, that we felt for one child, and it's kind of an extension of our love for Hadley that is helping so many other people.
We want to thank the Kramm family for sharing their uplifting story with us. We wish them the very best. Now, if you have an inspirational story to tell, log on to our show's website. Who knows, you may be our next week's Your Life story.